Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome back to Mundon Park. As the first Mundon Park video was so well received, thank you everybody for watching it, I figured I might turn Mundon Park into a sort of ad hoc series where I talk about updates to my track as I'm doing them. So here's episode 2, and we're going to put some pit lanes in this time. Before we start, a couple of videos it would be helpful if you'd watched before you watch this one. The first is Mundon Park episode 1, where I take you for a tour of the track itself. The second is a video you'll find in the Tech Bits playlist, where I program the 2 different pit lane eyes, one to count laps and one to do just fuel. So if you have watched those and you're familiar with my track, this is the layout of course. I'm going to put a pit lane with refueling and lap counting on the start finish straight at the bottom of the layout picture as you see it, and for that I'm going to need to remove these 2 pieces, move this piece along and put the pit lane in with a couple of extended single lane sections, which I'll get to in a little bit as well. The other pit lane is specifically really for the safety car, and that was going on the back straight, which again means taking out these 2 pieces and putting these pieces in. So let's take a look at the track with the pit lanes installed. Here's the start finish straight. You can see 1, 2, 3 pieces there with half width dashed lines on them. That's because single lane straights are really expensive. And I had some spare standard 2 lane straights. And I've got a tenon saw. And to be honest, they're really easy to cut with a tenon saw. You can get a nice straight accurate saw cut and save yourself quite a lot of money. There's the fuel eye that's also counting laps as well as refueling. And if we move down the start finish straight and round the first turn, you'll see at the end of the first turn is the second pit lane entrance, which goes through to a pit lane eye that serves fuel but doesn't count laps and then emerges back onto the track. Now if we look at this particular pit lane entry, because it is immediately off a curve and I run cars non-magnet, in most racing circumstances it's virtually impossible for a car that's racing to end up in the safety car pit, because it's usually drifting a fair amount by the time it comes off that corner and the sensor misses the pit lane eye. Well, that's great, because as long as I run my safety car with a magnet in, it will never miss that pit lane. So crude as it may be, that is one way of preventing a car accidentally entering the wrong pit lane and rear-ending the pace car midway through a race. Now, having talked about the pace car pit lane, I should probably talk about what I'm going to use as a pace car. As a UK-based urban-themed track, I think I've only got one choice. The car that drives around slowly, stopping everybody else racing about, is always a police car. So I got this Scale Electrics one. I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get working on the track. I have got the Carrera digital flashing lights chip. I'm going to try at some point to create a video where we chip that car with that chip and hopefully get the siren and the lights all working as well. A little sneak peek of some other things that are coming up on the channel. I've got a second Alpha 155, but it's very different to the red one, so we'll compare those 2 in a future video. And the other thing I've got is a team slot Mark II Zack Speed Escort, which is a very different beast, and I think it's going to be a challenge to chip because for some reason team slot put a ridge right where you need to put the IRS LED. So fun and games to come on the channel. And I think I'm going to make one more future track change. The kicker corner, in fact there's a pair because there's one diagonally opposite at the end of turn 1. The kicker corner here, it causes problems on a lap. You can come off there drifting really fast and the car will snake down the straight past the start finish and miss the start finish eye. So I'm going to smooth that out, maybe with some R4 corners, we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me, well, 4, nearly 5 minutes of your time again to watch one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, you'll find there's a button specifically for that. Subscribe for more channel updates and check out these other great slot car channels.